An anthology where all the stories stand on equal footing and deliver the underlying message in an impactful manner. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashmita and I hope you all are doing well. And right now I will be discussing the Malayalam anthology film Freedom Fight, which is streaming on SonyLiv. Firstly, I want to applaud the makers for thinking of this particular theme to make an anthology, because a lot of different stories can be explored under this umbrella, and the movie exactly does that. Now, before I deep dive into each story individually, I actually first want to applaud how the stories were arranged. What I mean by the statement is that as you progress from one story to another, the melancholy factor also keeps on increasing. So by the time you finish this film, you are going to left with a very, very heavy heart. So yes, let's discuss each and every story individually. Directed by Akhil Anil Kumar, the story, as the name suggests, revolves around the central character Geetu, which is played by Rajisha Vijayan. The film shows that how one decision taken by her for her own life changes the perspective of the society towards her. And it's not just her colleagues, but also her parents. This movie shows that if a woman takes a decision for her life and then probably later realizes that, oh no, it was a mistake and it was a lapse of judgment, accepts that mistake and tries to move on, the people around wouldn't let her. In Geetu's case, everyone keeps reminding, especially her family members, of the quote-unquote mistake that she made and how it is affecting, the family reputation and how the parents are not able to face the society. The story effectively shows how women are put under this pressure of being perfect, the perfect role models, and there is no freedom to even make mistake and learn from it. I personally think it was a great start to the anthology because the tone in which this movie was presented was very quirky and light-hearted. But even if the treatment was very light-hearted by the director, the message comes across very clearly. I like how the way this film was edited. It gives you a very sitcom kind of vibe, and Rajisha Vijayan was extremely charming in the film. There was a certain sense of rebellious nature that you could feel in her character, and one of the standout scenes for me is that when she completely bursts out in frustration to her mother, that was really well done. It doesn't come across as rude and condescending nature towards parents, but it actually reflects the frustration that she has been bottling up inside. So all in all, a really good start to the anthology. This story is directed by Kunjila Masilamani and it is incredible. The way this movie has been presented to the audience, the look and feel of it, it actually reminded me of these short ad films that were broadcasted in Doordarshan when I was in school. These used to be mostly like the awareness campaigns for the public. I don't know if the inspiration is from there because the movie is somewhat like an awareness campaign only. The story highlights the issue of the female labor force working in small shops who cannot take a toilet break without panicking because the shops where they work do not have this provision and they really cannot relieve themselves. It is shown in the film that the female workers actually have to go to the nearest hotel to pee, and it's not like freely open for public. You have to go in the hotel, you have to sit, order something, and then only you can access the toilet. The fact that the scenario is probably a reality in many places even today makes this film extremely hard-hitting. The protagonist character sketch, which is played by Shrinda so wonderfully, is very interesting because she is the kind of protagonist who wants to bring about a change because she needs that job, but she doesn't know how to. She is really not aware of the process of how to navigate through the system, how to tackle government officers, what are the labor laws, but she fearlessly asks for help. This is not a protagonist who is like leading by example, taking charge, but there is a sense of drive in her. There are certain scenes in the film where it captures so beautifully how much society is indifferent to an issue like this. A sequence when finally the district collector of that area, addresses the issue and installs an e-toilet, but then later you see in the next scene itself that the toilet is in shambles and nobody's taking care of it. When I was looking through the star cast of this film, I was pleasantly surprised that one of the ladies who worked in this movie, Viji Penukuttu, she's actually a human rights activist and fought for the rights of the female workforce. I was particularly fond how the film ended. It had a conclusion, but yet there was a continuation. This story is directed by Francis Lewis and it actually shows the economic divide between two families through a beautiful and extremely sad narrative. The movie shows two neighbors who clearly come from different economic backgrounds but are amicable with each other. The ladies from both the households share a very amicable relationship, but one finds it due to a very small misunderstanding. The woman who is not financially well off has to go out of her way to cover up that mistake. Now, as a viewer, in my eyes, it was a very simple misunderstanding which probably could have been sorted out if they just spoke to each other. But the film shows that this lady didn't even see that as an option. For her point of view, it was okay to put herself through a financial crunch than to come clean to the neighbor. The economic divide made her think that she doesn't have the freedom to do so. For me, honestly, it was so painful to watch, especially the ending scene where she just takes that fish and throws it off like it doesn't even matter. I could never do that, never ever. I mean, it's not a big deal to have the food which is 1 day old, but I guess a lot of people prefer only freshly prepared food. The ending sequence visual is just so powerful. You don't need really any dialogue. It's just the visuals and the music, and the message is just delivered. At the end, these two neighbors will continue to live and interact amicably, and this topic will never be brought into light. And yeah, life just goes on. Oh, the ending was incredibly sad, guys. The second last story is directed by Geo Baby, who is actually the brainchild of this particular anthology as well. It stars Jojo George, who is such a pleasure to watch on screen, along with other actors like Lali and Rohini. For this particular story, we get three really great perspectives when it comes to the theme freedom. Jojo George's character Baby is diagnosed with dementia, and at that point he feels that his free will and his freedom to do things his own way, what he wants to eat, has been taken away. Now, if you see the story from his wife's perspective, you would understand that her children have been very ungrateful towards her, and she herself wants to do a business which she was not able to all this time, and suddenly she has gotten this particular freedom which she doesn't want to let go of. The third perspective is of the house help, who genuinely wants to do something nice for Jojo George's character to help him out, but she doesn't have the freedom to. And also she has a child who's extremely ungrateful, who doesn't want to take care of her. So overall, it sets a very interesting dynamics for this particular story. The overall short film is a very slow burn, and I guess that was the intent with the way it is directed, because when you watch the film as a viewer, you yourself get this feeling of isolation and extreme loneliness. All the three actors were superb in their respective roles, and I loved the directional approach Geo Baby took for this. It's visually very stunning, but what I loved most is that the camera shots where the expression of the actors, it just keeps lingering on. And I love that with this particular short film, where you get three different perspectives of what freedom means to them. You will sort of agree, like at least in my case, I could agree with the point of view of all the three characters. Like I really understood their point of view. And that is a clear testament of how well the movie has been directed, because the message from all three perspectives comes across very clearly. The last film of this anthology, directed by Jitin Isaac Thomas. I am sorry, this was a very painful watch. When I did the trailer reaction, I remember saying that is one of the films set in like an older era because it is black and white, but no. That was so not the reason. This film is so graphic in its representation of oppression that if it was color graded, I swear I don't think I would have been able to sleep for many nights. When I was watching this short film, firstly, it impacted me a lot, and secondly, I really want probably someone in the future to make this topic as a full-length feature film, because really it's such an important topic. The movie shows the plight of the tank cleaners who basically clean everybody else's shit, and because they do this job, the other people look down upon them thinking that okay, they are disgusting. They don't get that respect in the society where they can live their life with some dignity. There are certain visuals in the film which will make you look away from your screen, and oh my god, that minister's character, I usually don't get evil thoughts in my head, but while I was watching this particular film, I wanted to do something really horrible to this guy, and that's a really big testament to his acting. While I'm talking about this film right now and recording the video, the visuals are flashing in front of my eyes, and oh my god, I'm once again so disgusted. The director did not hold back and made this movie graphic, and I applaud him for it. I also appreciated the ending of the film where they, basically said, give us respect or clean your own shit. It basically gives you a sense of hope. You don't know if they will get the justice or not, but still it ends with a sense of hope. If you ask me, I loved all the 5 films equally because they tackled different topics, and this theme that was taken for this anthology, I was so impressed by the outcome of it. Out of the recent anthology films, this one is clearly a standout and extremely superior. And it has also established my faith in a platform like SonyLiv, which really has been coming out with great content. I wish this anthology, like The Great Indian Kitchen, reaches pan-India recognition because it is required. So yes, those were my thoughts on the SonyLiv Malayalam anthology film Freedom Fight. Share in your thoughts in the comments below about a particular story that really stood out for you, or any other story that you thought, no, this was just average representation, could have been done better. For me, like I said, I loved all the 5 films equally. Really, the impact created were different, but that uniqueness is something that I really appreciated. So yes, that was the review, guys. I will end this video here. Share in your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you soon on my next video. Bye.